Do you know why Chief Justice Roberts apparently switched? This is a big deal, very big deal. Subject to my column tomorrow. Let me give you a rule of life in the United States of America. If you care, if you're a public figure who cares what the New York Times thinks about you, you will compromise your principles if you are a conservative. It is as simple as that. If you care what NBC, CBS, ABC, NPR, PBS, LA Times, New York Times, and everything between, if you care what they say about you, if you fear the mockery that will accompany you, just think for a moment of the mockery that has accompanied an extremely bright, capable, intelligent woman named Michelle Bachmann, and what they have done to mock her husband. Destroying people's names has been a mode of operation on the left since the days of Stalin, when he called Trotsky, who was the greatest communist of his era, the man who founded Russian Bolshevism, called him a fascist. And then the 2,400 psychiatrists who said that Barry Goldwater was psychologically unfit. Every one of those psychiatrists should have had his medical degree taken from him, or whatever the term would be for the equivalent to disbarring a physician. To declare a man psychologically disturbed is the worst thing that a psychiatrist or psychologist can do publicly and without having ever met the person. But they were all left-wing psychiatrists, and destroying people is okay because leftism is more important than the mode of operation we use to destroy people. John Roberts was afraid of what would happen to his name and the name of the Supreme Court. And I don't say this as if he is not serious. He's a very serious man. And he even could justify, and he did. And there are conservatives who buy this. And my point here is not criticism. Believe me, I criticize when I want to. I'm not hiding a criticism. I'm giving an explanation. Does any conservative person listening, for that matter, does any liberal person listening with an open mind believe that John Roberts really differed from Antonin Scalia and from the other conservative justices? Do you really, and Anthony Kennedy, who's not conservative, who's in the middle? Is there anyone in this country who believes that he really didn't agree? He said he agreed, not in those words, but he in the words of, they believe that the mandate was unconstitutional, and so does he. He agreed with the conservative justices and Anthony Kennedy. But he did not want, he reads the papers. Big problem. The other justices do not. I quoted in my column tomorrow how they just avoid reading anything or listening or watching anything to do with any of their cases, so as not to be swayed by politics or public opinion. The justice's role is very narrow. They judge whether it's constitutional, even if the effects of the judgment will cause greater tension in the society. Justice Roberts did not want the Supreme Court to fall into disrepute. But disrepute among whom? Among law faculties and the liberal, which means nearly all media.